Now before we get started on the video, I do want to give a shout out to two friends of mine, and well, who've been in this situation with me for a long time with all of us together, in which who are Frostberries and Spy Gabriel 1984. So I'll make sure to leave their links in the description below if you all want to go check them out. Now we can start our video, shall we? So hola my citizens, it's Soul Phantom, and I'm sorry if I haven't made a video in like a week. It's just I've been on a trip about a few days ago. And now I'm back, kids, yay! But that's not what the video is about, because today we're going to be talking about someone very special that I've known for like 3 years now. And you want to know who that is? Well, you guessed it. It's Ray William Johnson. Nah, just kidding. It's GTAKing6666 we're going to be talking about. And you want to know why? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about for our first main point.
Oh, you're a little bit of everything. You can be truth, or you can be lies today.
For those of you who don't know GTA King, he's just some kid on the internet, or I should have said Xbox Live. And he met me back in April of 2015, back on the Xbox 360. That same time when we used to be friends with another small YouTuber who did a tutorial on how to spawn Herobrine in Minecraft Xbox 360 title updates 1 and 2. In which, well, he doesn't actually exist no more. I mean, his channel used to be around, but it was gone. And his name was GTAKing. Some of you may remember him and some of you may not, but he doesn't exist anymore, so you're never gonna find him. So when GTAKing randomly added me through GTAKing's friends list, we were really good buds. That time when we used to play GTA 4, we would go for hours on end of playtime with each other, and that didn't stop us. He was one of the nicest people I actually got to meet. He never betrayed me like all my other friends did on Xbox 360. It was really peaceful. Until 2 months later, in which we'll talk about in our second point. In June of 2015, at around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, he started inviting me to an Xbox Live party to tell me something very important. And well, it was nothing special. It was a disaster. He goes, hey, these guys are bullying me, and oh, dude, you gotta help me. And so he decided to send me their gamer tags, and I told him, hey, don't worry, man, I'll get this whole situation all sorted out, alright? I might be able to talk to one of them, alright? But here's the problem. I didn't know any of these 3 people. Now, I'm not going to mention the 2 other gamer tags, since I don't want you guys to try messaging these people, because, well, they're gone, and plus, I want to try to keep this simple. So I'm just going to use these 2 gamer tags that I named, in which who are PopGamer259 and the Wonderful Maka. So while GTAKing and I were talking about these 3 different people that were bullying him, he sent me through a text message over Xbox Live, in which who were PopGamer259, the Wonderful Maka, and Frostberries. And well, like I promised him before, I was gonna sort this out once and for all. The one gamer tag that standed out to me was Frostberries. So I told GTAKing, how about I talk to Frostberries first? So I'll be right back. So I left GTAKing's party and got to join Frostberries' party. It was just me and the guy Frost. So the first time I heard his voice, he sounded like an adult. And says, hello. And well, I tried to explain to him that I was one of GTAKing's friends, and tried to be honest about why he was doing this to GTAKing, and that I told him about how GTAKing was a nice person. The next thing I know, he had voice recordings of stuff that GTAKing has said to him, saying stuff like, I'm gonna boot you offline, and oh, I'm gonna get the police on you, for literally no reason for why GTAKing has said these things. Alright, moving to our third point. After hearing about 10 to 15 voice recordings of GTAKing, I had no idea what to think. At that point, we started to become friends with each other, until GTAKing sent me a via voice message through Xbox Live saying, if you become friends with Frostberries, or else I'm gonna boot you offline. And I was scared that he was going to do it. So I laid low for a few days, and those few days passed by and got back on Xbox Live, and well, I didn't notice anything happen. He did say he was gonna boot me offline if I became friends with Frostberries, but nothing happened. And that's the moment I knew he was lying. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Well, Phantom, why does he always say he's gonna boot you offline when he never does it?
Well, let me explain it from square one. The reason why is because he specifically said that he was only doing it to mess with me. but like every time I stop being friends with him for a good reason, like let's just say he's trying to spam me messages constantly, or saying something that made me feel uncomfortable, or even getting mad over a game. And what I mean by that, I mean he's like a 2-year-old child who would get mad about something when his master tells him no. So, after I stopped being friends with him on Xbox 360, he would always send me death threats via voice messages on Xbox Live, and trying to trash talk me into a beef fight with him, in which we come down to our fourth point. Not only did he threaten to boot me offline, in which he had no idea since he made the whole thing up, a few months later, he goes to say some things to me over Xbox Live, in which these were quite hilarious actually after reading them. Now keep in mind these messages that I screenshot were from Xbox.com. This was a time when he still used the gamertag GTAKing6666, so here we go. Now I forgot to mention that these Xbox Live messages were from 2015, so these were like years ago. Now, the only screenshots that stand out to me the most were these messages. Now, if you weren't able to notice them as much, or if you were confused by why GTAKing said these, let me explain. So in the first screenshot, GTAKing claimed that he had a friend of his who knew how to get me and Frostberries' IP addresses, and said, no, he does, dude, it's real. But the thing is, he never gave out the actual person's name that got our IP addresses. Now, I only have two theories. Either GTAKing made all this up, or that friend of his knew how to get our IP addresses, probably warned GTAKing to not tell his name to them as a way of hiding himself. Now I'm sure the guy would have just sent us a message first off, and just warned us anyways, but that never happened. So why would GTAKing be wasting his time telling us that someone got our IP addresses even though that never happened? Now, just like how I said before how he was gonna boot me offline if I became friends with Frostberries, this one stand out to me with him lying about that as well, just like he did the first attempt. So far, we already know how he said he would boot me offline.
I'm gonna frickin' boot your ass offline.
Then GTAKing claimed that he had a guy friend of his that had a hold of our IP addresses. The next thing I know, he says that he would get an FBI agent on Frostberries and me because he quickly assumed to think that we were gangsters and terrorists! And well, apparently he never had the chance to meet an FBI agent in person by nagging about Frostberries and me. The reason why this would have been a failed attempt for him, even if he told it to a quote-unquote FBI agent, because first of all, they wouldn't take him that serious, because let's just face it, it was off Xbox Live. Second of all, he probably would have just got arrested for false information on both of us over the internet, and they would have just think, oh well, this kid is crazy, he needs to be put in an asylum. Or at least somewhere where he could just be locked up forever. So that's really all I have to say in response about his saying on the quote-unquote FBI agent, am I right? Thumbs up, kids, if you think I'm right. Wink wink. And oh boy, this doesn't end off this main point from here. In July of 2017, GTAKing and I were having a ring fight over Kick Messenger, where he called me out as a traitor and told me to stop blackmailing him because he thought I was blackmailing him. I also told him at the time that he just couldn't hide the truth, and claimed that he didn't do anything and thought that Frost and I were blaming him for nothing, and I asked him how I was a traitor exactly. He said that I'm always going on Frostberries' side every time, and then going to say that he would use his friends to attack us, and then his last words saying that my time will come. By the way, I never had nothing to do with blackmailing him, and my good old friend Frostberries with me is going to explain what blackmailing is, because trust me, I had nothing to do with blackmailing him. So Frost, can you tell me what it means if someone is blackmailing you?
Blackmail, the action treated as a criminal offense of demanding money from a person in return for not revealing, compromising, or injurious information about that person. Money demand from a person in return for not revealing injurious information. The use of threats or manipulation of someone's feelings to force them into doing something.
So Frost, I want to ask you this. Do you really think that GTAKing was right about how I was blackmailing him? Because, I mean, he didn't really give out no context as to how I was doing it.
Well, you could say that, in contrary, he doesn't understand of what he is saying, so no.
Well, yeah, I could take it as that. So that's really all I need to say from the quote-unquote blackmailing thing. The last and final screenshots of GTAKing's final words are quite disturbing for what he has to say. And again, coming back at Frostberries, and he is going to explain them as I show them up on screen. So, roll it.
And so, as you can see, he's been sending me so much death threats and hateful, vulgar language, which I wouldn't want to cooperate with. Because, I mean, sending vulgar language to someone really does hurt your reputation in a way. So if any one of his friends are watching this, just letting you know, he's using you for his pleasurement of getting rid of people like me and my friend here, which is he wants to be always right, and the thing is, he is using you just to do his dirty work, which is manipulation. So basically, he is blackmailing you, 12s and 14-year-olds alike. But anyways, if Xbox support is watching this, I'm telling you this now. This kid has been harassing us for 3 years, and please ban his account because he's been breaking the code of conduct of Xbox. He's been sending me hateful, very arrogant words, and if you don't know what arrogant is, it's basically having or relieving an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. Basically, he's somewhat modest, proud of what he is doing to send people to do his dirty work. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, moving to our fifth point.
And so, what he does to get people on his side, he does this particular trump card known as playing the victim. So basically, if you were to see him joining in a match and basically sends you a friend request and whines, saying that these people are attacking him, and if someone falls for that, speaking of that, we knew someone that felt for his trick, and we told him the truth about for what he basically has done. And that particular friend believed in us, but there's more to that. So basically, you go into games and all trying to act innocent, playing the act, but really, all in general, he's really the bad guy, because I mean, he just doesn't really make no sense of what he says through his mouth. And I'll tell you this, he's really mental. Like, I mean, really mental. So yeah.
I remember there was a time where GTAKing actually tried to manipulate a YouTuber's friends list over Xbox 360 known as Low-Tex Gaming. And if you don't know who Low-Tex Gaming is, he's a guy on YouTube who happens to make a bunch of Minecraft videos on his channel. But that's not about him. In June to July of 2016, after I stopped being friends with GTAKing, he decided that he wanted to use Low-Tex Gaming's friends to try and attack me by sending me messages saying stuff like, "Oh, well, you're a jerk," and "Oh, you're a bully," and these messages were just never gonna stop. I actually had to block these people because at the time, I didn't know any of them, and I probably won't mention any of their names since there's really no point in doing it anyways. By the way, at the time of recording this video, Low-Tex Gaming has around 9,000 subscribers, and he hasn't even made a video in like 5 months, which is a bit kind of weird, I think, for the most part. Alright, moving to our last point, which is my thoughts, opinions, and conclusion.
You've got the energy, you've got the look. Most times you win.
My thoughts about GTAKing is that if he would have just let it go and would have just moved on while not talking to Frost and me, I probably wouldn't be wasting my time making this video, but instead, he chose this to happen. And heck, I might have to make a part 2 on this video if I have to. My opinion about GTAKing is not that I would say he's a good friend, because I almost made the mistake to being friends with someone who makes death threats on the internet like this.
I'm gonna frickin' boot your ass offline.
But I mean, who knows what could have happened. He probably would have just done it later on if he would have never told me about these 3 different people that I was unaware of. Oh, you know, PopGamer259, The Wonderful Maka, and Frostberries. And well, things would have been different between GTAKing and me. But I still think he has a lot of stupidity in himself for all I care for. My conclusion about GTAKing is, well, I think he's one of the most stupidest people I've ever became friends with on Xbox Live. With the stuff that Frost and I have talked about in this video will affect him later on in his lifetime. He'll look back at this video 20 years later and think to himself, man, why didn't I just move on, and oh, I can't believe I would do this, and it was all my fault. So GTAKing, if you happen to be watching this video, I'd suggest get out of our Xbox community right now while you can, alright? Because I know you'll just comment on this video and be like, oh, this is harassment, stop it, Phantom, this is hurting me, I'm gonna go cry to my friends on Xbox Live so that they can attack you, I'm gonna defend myself. GTAKing, listen to me. All I'm trying to do is explain something about you with honest main points. This isn't used as a way of attacking you throughout the entire video. I'm just having to call you out for the stuff you've done to me and my other friends for a long time now. And this story just needs to be heard with a big voice. Like mine, technically, I guess, since I talk really loud. So GTAKing, if you really want to use your Xbox One friends to attack this video, go ahead, because it won't make no difference with me and my channel. Instead, it's only going to make you look bad enough because you wasted probably about a long hours trying to tell people about this. So, you can surrender now, or you can continue this situation further and I can make a part 2 out of this video. Your choice, GTAKing. Your choice. So anyhow, that wraps up the whole video, and I apologize if this video was really long, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can make sure to subscribe, because I'll be making more content within the meantime. This is Soul Phantom rolling out. Adios.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online, my city don't show me no love, and that's fine.